Now in Dashakam 5, what he does is Vyakta Vyaktamidam. Dashakam 5 is Virat Purushaha. Virat Purushaha meaning the form of the Lord, which is very huge. Or you can say in how the form of the Lord can be described. Now in general terms, we have already seen having a Kavacha Kundala, then you have a Shankha, Gada, and so on. So that is a physical form. Whereas Virata Purusha, you can consider maybe not which we see through our naked eyes also. Virat Purusha is something which was born for the first time on the earth. So you can consider to be the first living being also. And it has got the consciousness, physical aspects as well as inner consciousness. So he says that in this world, when you came in the form of Virat Purusha you can also consider to be like the when Krishna gave the Vishwarupa Darshana to Arjuna. At the time, Arjuna is spellbound. All of you, I hope you would have seen the Vishwarupa Darshana photo, right? You have the Lord in between, and then so many other avatars and so on that the Lord has. And from one side, you can see people are come. Creation is going on. From the other side, death is taking place. So that is, it is being shown as a circle. So this is somewhat the Virata Purusha form of the Lord. So Bhattatri here describes that this world has both gross and subtle things. That is, has got living, non-living, human beings, living creatures, everything is there. Then you have the three gunas, Vyaktam, Avyaktam. Vyaktam is that which can be seen, Avyaktam, that which cannot be seen. Say for example, Vyaktam, you have a book, you have furniture and so on, all this is Vyaktam, we can see. Whereas we have air, we have smell and so on, such concepts which though we cannot see with our naked eyes, we can experience. Or even God for that matter, those who believe in Ishvara, we can experience Ishvara, but we cannot actually see the physical form. So this world is consisting of that. Then the three gunas are there, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva, superior quality. Rajas, mostly like us, mediocre, good and bad. Depending on the situation, we change our nature. Tamas is the lowest category. This is there. Then death, birth, moksha, all this is there. Creation is born, it has to die. That's the reason in the Virat Purusha form, from one side you can see that all beings are being born, from the other side you can see that all the God beings again they die. That is ultimately they merge into God. So that this is a continuous process. Nobody till date can say, no, I'm only being born, I'll never die. That never happens. Now all this Bhattatri though he explains further is then there is something called day, night, morning, evening and so on. But then all these concepts that are there, these concepts do not exist for the Lord because he says that wherever the realm where you live, be it Vaikuntham or Kailasa, whatever it is, Kailasa in the case of Shiva, Vaikuntham in the case of Vishnu, or Brahma in the case of Brahmaloka. Now here we are talking about Vishnu. So wherever you live, you are free from all this. That is, you are not dented, you are not touched by Maya. In the case of all of us, we are touched by Maya. Maya is nothing but this world around. So we are influenced by that. That's the reason somewhere it is day, somewhere it is night. Even now all of us are there. Few of you are joining maybe from outside India also. So then for you it is now night time, for us day has just begun, right? So you see there are differences here and there, but still all of us try to live depending on the situation. We try to change our nature. Sometimes we are very good, sometimes we are very bad, sometimes we are mediocre. Depending on the situation we change. Though all this is there, you are not affected by that. Therefore further he talks about three gunas and then karmas also. Karma is good and bad actions. He says that for us, depending on our good actions, it results in good results, bad actions, bad results. But you are free from that. Then all the jivas, living creatures are there, they are all born from you. Then the Shrutis, the Vedas also declare, they also describe your form. That's how we have the Purusha Sukta, Narayana Sukta, and so on, describing about the Lord. So you are responsible for existence. So through this Dashakam 5, if you see, mainly the things that we see around us, how the Lord is responsible for the process of creation, that has been described in detail in Dashakam 5. So if you look at the meanings that are there, now I'm trying my level best to explain you in an easy way whatever I know. But when you read the translation, word by word translation, some of your books might have, don't get confused. They'll have big words, consciousness, bliss, non existing, this, that. Such words will be used. Maya. You have to be very, very careful to interpret. Meaning is quite easy, but how we interpret that matters. Next, verse number 3, he says that there is a period called two parardhas. What is two parardhas? Two parardhas you can consider, and these are all time periods that have been told, just as we have morning, evening, Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha, or Ayana. Ayana, two Ayanas, 6 months period that is there. Two Ayanas together is 1 year. So, like this, two Parardhas is also a time period which has been mentioned. So, here he says that when the time has come, that is when the Uttarayana Kala, Dakshinayana Kala, two Ayanas I told you, Uttarayana, Dakshinayana. Like this, when two Parardha Kalas are gone, Dviparardha Kala Vigatao, verse number 3. When that has gone away, at that time you come and you create the three worlds. That is, you can consider ultimately when the world is gone. That is at the time of Pralaya. You have something called creation, then the maintenance, then towards every yuga you have the Pralaya that takes place. So at that time, what happens is when you come, you protect all the three worlds, and even this concept of Maya that is there. Maya is nothing but illusion. For this, Shankaracharya in his Advaita philosophy, he gives a very beautiful explanation. He says, the Lord is there in between, or our goal is in between. Surrounding the goal is in the center. Surrounding that, we have Maya, and we are in the outer circle. So, like this, whenever the concept is shown, it is shown drawing three circles. The innermost circle is our goal, where we have to reach. The middle circle is Maya, and all of us are there in the outside circle. So, basically, I don't know if, like, some of us, you would have played this game, right? Wherein the goal is there in the middle, and then a group of people, they form a circle, and there will be one person who will be there outside the circle, and the person dodges and somehow tries to come inside, and we have to stop him from coming. So this is like a game also, the same game. It is like this game only. So all of us, Shankaracharya in his Advaita philosophy, Advaita, why I'm highlighting is this way is, he says only that center part, that is only one goal, there is nothing beyond that. So therefore, it is such a simple explanation, which is Maya. Maya is nothing but, it is like a, you can say, barrier that is there between us and the supreme goal, and we have to break through that and go in. But it's not that difficult. It is not that easy. In the game, it is okay. You dodge people and you can go inside. But then in life, it becomes very, very difficult, because most of our time we look at something. Now, what is Maya? Maya is nothing but illusion, right? You go to a desert also, from far away distance we feel that there is water. When you actually go nearby, there will be nothing. Same thing is a concept of Maya, only you have to consider it all throughout our life. So, but then we have to know, the world cannot be free from Maya. We cannot sit and complain, oh, then why Maya is there, why this world has been created, why creation is taking place. We cannot sit and argue. That is going to be there. That is a rule. You can say that's a niyama. But then, how far we allow Maya to affect us, that is very, very important. So, very simple example, good things and evil things are going to be there. Nobody can say that no, from today onwards, there will be no stealing taking place, no evil things taking place in the society. They are going to be there, but how far we are affected by that, that matters. So, same thing here also, he says, Maya is also created by the Lord only, so that people in this world exist, and it has also emerged right from the. It's not that only today it has come. Maya is there right from the time of creation, but he says that you are someone who is free from Maya. That is, a form of the Lord is free from that. Then you are not influenced by Maya at all. And then you are known by something called as Mahatatva. Mahatatva is nothing but topmost, you can say, outermost supreme intelligence is Mahatatva. But wherein you show that all the jivas, the jivatmas who are there, they are not different from you, from Paramatma. We are all a part of you only, who are manifested in different forms. But the only difference is we are tainted by Maya. Therefore, we are born in this world. That's the reason why all of us believe that we have God in us, and we believe that the Lord lives in us, and so on. Why do we believe in God? That is because Jivatma, Paramatma. We have a jiva in it. Now, even people who don't believe in this, very simple thing which you have to know is, inside us you have something called soul, right? That is the reason you see your heart pumping. When a person dies, what happens is pumping stops, and the vital air that is there inside your body, it goes out to the topmost nadi that is there, that is through our head. The air goes away. So when the breath goes away, when life goes away, it is nothing. Person is gone, so no use of the body. Then the body has got no sense when breath stops, right? So it is the same principle that is there. So that breath or the soul that we have, if I'm speaking to all of you today, if all of you are listening to me, We are all alive, right? How come we are alive? Because there is some Jivatma, some Jiva, life is there inside. If life goes away, maybe I'll stop talking, all of you will stop listening. So then, no, it's just a piece of flesh that is there. Just as Shankaracharya. Now, when we are talking about all this, we have to highlight something with regards to Shankaracharya, wherein he says that when a person dies, Bharya bibhyati tasmin kale. It's just mam saha, he says. He says that we are, this is again illusion. Say, for example, well, this is all human nature, but still he says that in young age also, or even later, whenever you look at someone, we are passionate towards them, right? Say, for example, if we look at a very gym body man or so, immediately we might feel that, oh, he's so attractive, he's so handsome. Or maybe you look at a lady also. Now Shankaracharya writes from a male perspective, so he mentions in case of a woman, then it is applicable for anyone. So he says that if I look at a woman also in general, I might be attracted to her with her good looks and so on. But ultimately, all that matters only till then. The jiva is there. When the jiva goes out, it's just a piece of flesh. It's just mamsam, he says. All our body parts, be the gym body man or whoever it is, his biceps, his muscles, till jiva, till life is there inside, it makes sense. Otherwise, it's a piece of flesh. Right? Anyway, it's going to be burnt, whether you're a gym body man or a thin man. Now, all this doesn't mean that we don't put in efforts, but then how far we put in efforts, that is very, very important. Totally, your entire life you just spend in building your body. If you don't spend up in building your inner mind, inner qualities, life is waste. Because ultimately, when person dies also, your physical body doesn't remain. What remains is your qualities, what you give back, right? People remember that for lifelong, and you might be an inspiration also, but nobody is going to remember you, oh, he was a man having a very good physical body. Ultimately the body has to die. That's the reason one more line Shankaracharya mentions, bharya bibhyati tasmin kali. Your own wife starts getting afraid of your body. Who will not be afraid of a dead body, right? No one says, no, I'll stay with a dead body. We don't do that. The body, it's our own husband, wife, children, parents, whomever it is. Life goes, Jiva goes, the body has to be burned down. So therefore, Bhattatriya, he says that all the Jivas have come from you, all the Jivatmas are a part of you only. It's just that we are all split into different bodies and living. But surely we have your soul only inside all of us. Next, he says that Jivas are all, you can consider a macro part of you. It's a very small part of you. You are the one who's ruling over everyone. So whatever we are doing today, that is ruled by you. Next, now here he says that depending on our nature, sometimes we identify ourselves. How is that? Mahatattva, I told you, intelligence. Sattva gunam, when it is there, at that time, the entire universe is considered to be one. That's a very simple example I give you. When all of us are there, or when good people are there, now say for example, all 40 of us here, we might feel nobody will say, no, I am great. Amongst all the 44 people, only I am the greatest. This is not Sattva Gunam. Whereas if we say, yes, all of us together are doing something, including myself, if I say, okay, all of us together, we are trying to understand Narayaniyam, we are trying to learn Narayaniyam, this is Sattva Gunam. So Rajogunam, when it comes is, I say Rajas and Tamas. These Gunam, when they come is, only I know about Narayanyam. All the other 43 people, they are inferior to me. That's the reason they are listening to me. The minute I develop, I'm telling you from my perspective, the minute I develop this quality, Sattva Gunam has vanished, Tamas and Rajas has popped in. Or maybe amongst all of us, we feel no, only I know something, the remaining everyone is inferior to me. At that time, Rajas and Tamas pop in, Sattva Gunam goes away. So Sattva is nothing but when we realize that we are all part of the same Paramatma, we just have to make our own individual contributions as far as we can. Rest everything, we are all part of the same one. That's the reason all of us, we have the same time period, same body, everything is there, right? So what is the use? Depending on the qualities, we differ, of course. Say for example, you know four things, the opposite person might know four different things. What you know, that person might not know, but what you don't know, he might know. So the Lord has always blessed us. Each one has been blessed with some or the other good qualities that are there. So there is no use of comparing or no use of saying that I am superior. Bhattacharya highlights that the minute I, this concept comes in, your life is waste. The reason you feel I did something, I did that, life is waste. You didn't do anything, because only till the jiva is there inside, she's making you do things. When the jiva goes away, it's not going to do anything. So as long as this jiva atma is there inside you, make the best of it. Don't get into rajas, tamas, pride and so on. Be good, whatever you know, share that with others. whatever you get to learn from others, that also you accept. The second point is very, very important. What we know, sharing is still, you can say, 10% people will do, but from others to learn something, sometimes it's quite difficult, right? No, I know everything, why should I learn from someone? This attitude automatically, this is human nature. So Bhattacharya prays that he tries to realize the nature of the Lord, and he tries to get out of this. He compares himself and says that this is the reason today why I am suffering. So there are some flaws in me. He tries to realize the form of the Lord. At the same time, he tries to make out where he is going wrong. Further, he says that this aham tattva that is there, aham is what I do this, I do that, I am great. This tattva is also further, it is categorized. It is categorized as sattva, rajas, and tamas. From sattva, later what was created was the jnanendriyas, that is the organs of knowledge. Now, why from me? That is from an individual. These different concepts have come. Jnanendriya, knowledge. For jnana, intellect, mind, and so on, brain. All this was created. Next, you have Dik Devata. Dik Devata is our sensory organs. Hearing. Dik Devata, hearing. Then of touch. Touch, the Lord ruling over touch is Vayu. You touch and feel things, right? Next is Surya. Surya is of seeing. That's the reason whenever you have eye illnesses or so, eye problems, we pray to Lord Surya. Varuna is of taste. Ashwini Devatas of smell. Ashwini Devatas, the divine physicians of the Lord. Next, Jnanendriyas, intellect, mind, brain, and so on. Then Digdevata, that is our sense organs, hearing, touch, seeing, taste, and smell. Then the Karmendriyas. Karmendriyas for doing karma, hands, feet. Agni is of speech, Indra is of hands, Vishnu is of legs, Mitra is of excretion, Prajapati is of reproduction. Then you have something called Antakarana. So how the world was created, how these concepts were born, that has been described here. That's the reason now I don't know how many of you know the story. In fact, once there is a story that there was a Brahmin. What he did was, unconsciously, he killed a cow. He didn't do it purposely. Gohatya. Now, killing a cow is considered to be inauspicious, right? In our culture, so, and that too, he was a brahmana. He was a priest. So usually priests, if you see, they usually will have a cow at their houses, sages and so on. They'll take their milk, they'll worship. So therefore, he had a cow, and unconsciously he comes and he kills the cow. But now he has to incur sin for that, Gohatya. At that time, what he does is, he tells Indra there that because of you, I have killed the cow. Indra asks, why? Because of me? Because you are the one who's the ruling deity of hands, right? Here also I told you Indra is for hands. So, Vanhi Indra Achyuta Mitrakan. You see verse number 6, Dashakam 5 verse 6. Vanhi Indra. So the Brahmana says that because of you, you are only the one who's ruling the hands. So I did not do anything, you only caused me to kill the cow. So therefore you should only incur sin. Indra goes away from there. In another instance, what happens is, this Brahmana, he did a lot of good things that are there. He taught to people, he helped people, and he was a teacher, so he used to teach the Vedas, he used to grant knowledge and so on to his students. Then he had a beautiful garden, he used to maintain his garden and so on. So at that time, now again Indra comes there, and looking at that garden, he says, now this garden also has been maintained by me. And he goes about telling people also, the Brahmana, that I maintained this garden, come and see, and so on. It was a very beautiful garden. So at that time, Indra again pops there and he says that, why come now you're telling that you have built this garden, you have grown this garden? I'm the one who's ruling over hands, right? So I should get the credits of building this garden. Brahmana says, no, I have only put in so much pains. I've put the mud, I've sowed the seeds, I've put the water and all this. Indra says, you're very smart. Only when you did some sin, at that time you remembered, no. Hands, Indra is the ruler of hands, so therefore Indra is only responsible for Gohatya. But now, with the same hands, when you grew a very beautiful garden, at that time you're taking the credits for yourself. So, human nature is like this. Depending on the situation, we change our nature. So here, that's the reason. This is one story which shows that Indra is a ruler of hands. Same thing Bhattatri also mentions here. Further, next, so thus you have the Jnanendriyas, organs of knowledge. Then you have the sensory organs and Karmendriyas, speech, hands. Then you have something called Antakarana. Antakarana is our inner conscience. What is inner consciousness? Sometimes we say, right, no, from my inner mind, or I have a strong gut feeling. What is all that? From inside we feel. You say something outside, but from inside you feel something. That is buddhi, chitta, ahankara, ego, or manaha, mind. Now, though we say mind is in our head, it is actually in our heart, chest. That is from inside, from my inner mind, I feel so, right? So then you have something, the rulers of mind is like the moon, it seems. The ruler of the mind, the god ruling over mind is moon. Therefore, we have to always keep it cool, like the moon. Then of buddhi is Brahma, intellect. Ahankara is Rudra, quite violent. And Chitta is Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is a deity, like the Devatas. I can consider as a minor deity also. That is of memory. Or even goddess Saraswati. So therefore, these are all, when a being is created, human being is created, automatically all these concepts come in. Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Antakarana, and also the sense organs that are there. Next, verse 7, he says that ultimately, from what happens is, those who are sattvic, those who are good, they will lose their ahankara, that is, they will not be egoistic. In spite of having all the karmendriyas, nanendriyas, and so on, I am very much afraid because ahankara is there in me, but it is human nature to show ahankara as needed, right? That's the reason most. Now, say for example, here also, if I tell you 45 people are there, someone comes and tells you, you don't chant, you don't know Narayaneeyam or so, immediately our ego will come in, right? Just a simple example, you say, no, I've learned Narayaneeyam, how can you say I don't know Narayaneeyam or I don't chant well and so on, right? Or whenever someone tries to put us down, maybe we are not of that nature, but still, ahankara, ego does come in. Maybe 10% we don't show that outside, but still at the tip of our tongue, it does come in. And when someone insults us or so, immediately we feel like giving back. That is something which is ego. Or someone is speaking to us, someone wants to speak, but sometimes, no, I will not reply him, I will not receive his calls and so on. He did not do it last time. This is when ego comes in. Right? So ahankara is coming in. From ahankara, Bhattatri says that something else was also born further, that is Shabda. Shabda and Akasha. Akasha is space or vacuum, that is there. Shabda is sound. So this is how slowly you see from the Lord, all the jivas have come out, then the process of creation and death has taken place, then the different feelings and so on has come. Further, verse 8, he says after Tanmatra is nothing but Shabda. After sound came in, next you have Akasha coming. Then you have Sparsha, that comes touch. From Sparsha comes Vayu, air. From air comes Rupa, that is some form. So today, if you have to see a tree, if I tell you a tree, immediately you can see a tree, right, in your mind. There is a Rupa, there is a Rupam, there is a form to it. If I tell you water, you can imagine water because we have seen. So that's how the concept of Rupa comes. From Rupa, that is a physical form, you have the concept of fire or Agni coming. From that, you have taste or Rasa. From taste, you have water, and that is Jalam. And from water, you have smell, Gandham. From Gandham comes earth or Prithvi. That's the reason we can smell the mud of the earth at times. So here Bhattatri says, Oh Madhava, he says all this has come. Then from your tamasa aspect of ahankara, ahankara is tamasic, from them were born these five tanmatras. Tanmatras is the sound, akasha, sparsha and so on. Then the panchamahabhutas, air, water, fire, and each have qualities of the previous one. That's the reason I told you, right? From space came touch, from touch came air, from air came rupa. So everything is related to each other. So this is how things have been born. So now if you see the three verses, that is 6, 7 and 8. From 6, from the Sattva Guna of the Lord, you have good things coming in. That is Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas and Antakarana. From verse number 7, from the Rajasic, you have Rajasic aspect of the Lord. You have the 10 Indriyas that are born, 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Jnanendriyas. Then from the Tamasic, you have Shabda, Sparsha, and the Pancha Mahabhutas. So in these three verses, you have the division. Next, verse number 9. Finally, now, Bhattatri comes to a conclusion. He says, even though all these elements, sense organs, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, they are preceding deities, everything have come into existence, they are not capable of developing this Brahmandam, that is this entire universe. That is there. This capability is there in you only because you are the one who is ruling over all of them. Therefore, even they too try to glorify you by singing your various hymns and so on. And ultimately, that's how the Hiranya Andam is nothing but the golden egg is created, out of which it is believed that Brahma has come out. and through your guidance he starts the process of creation. Last, this brahmandam or this golden egg, it seems that it remains in water for about 1,000 years. Then it breaks through, it makes its way through 14 spheres, 14 worlds. There it is called Virata Rupa. That's Virat Rupa, which we are talking about in Dashakam 5. And with thousands of hands, feet, head, and so on. O Lord of Guruvayur, you protect me, you have manifested in this form. I'm thinking about your form in this form. Out of a form having 1,000 heads, 1,000 arms. Sahasra Shirsha, Purushaha, Sahasra, Kshas, Sahasrapad, Purusha Sukta, first line. And now that I am ready to worship you even in this form that is there. Now you please protect me from all my ailments that is there. Marut Puradipa Samam Trayaswa Sarvamayat. So at least from this form now I've worshipped you in this Virat Swarupa form having 1,000 arms, 1,000 legs. I've described you. I've described you in a difficult way, Jivatma, Paramatma, your entire form, Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic, everything has been done. Now at least come and protect me from my ailments. So with this, the Shakam 5 ends.